By the Palestinian National Initiative leader, Mustafa Barghouti. Mr. Barghouti, thank you very much indeed for rejoining me. A lot has happened, obviously, since we last spoke. What is your assessment of where we are in this war?
We are in a very terrible position and situation because the Israeli attacks on Gaza continue. At this moment, they're not losing Israelis. All the victims are Palestinians. What we see here is after the process of dehumanization of Palestinians, they are in the act of annihilation of Palestinian people. Massacres after massacres after massacres. Up till now, almost 7,000 people have been killed in Gaza, mostly civilians. And in addition, and out of that, about 2,700 children have been killed. These are not just numbers. Moments ago, one of our colleagues and your colleague, the main journalist in Gaza, the correspondent of Al Jazeera, lost his wife and his daughter and his son, lost his family in an airstrike on an area which was supposed to be a safe place, according to Israeli instructions. They forced people to come from the north to the south, and his family was bombarded and killed. And nobody can say that they were human shields for Hamas, this big lie that keeps repeating. Today we were in a demonstration in solidarity with Gaza, and one of the other journalists, his name is Muhammad Farah, suddenly collapsed because he got the message from Gaza that his sister and all her family were killed. Just like that. He did not have the chance to meet his sister for 24 years. You know why? Because Israel would not allow his sister to come from Gaza to the West Bank and would not allow him to go from here to Gaza. For 24 years he did not see his sister, and now she is killed with her children, with her husband. This is unacceptable. Palestinians are human beings, and these are not just numbers.
No, I completely agree with you. And every innocent life that's being lost is a catastrophe in this war. War is a catastrophe. Let's be completely straight about this. I know that you're not associated with Hamas. Hamas, when they launched this appalling terror attack on October the 7th, they will have known how Israel would respond. How can it be right? How can it be good for the Palestinian people that they continue to have Hamas ruling them in Gaza when they've committed a terror atrocity which they knew before they enacted it would spark this kind of response from Israel? Not to defend what Israel's doing, but they knew this is how they would respond. They knew thousands of Palestinians would be killed. How can that be what is good for the Palestinian people?
There are two answers to your question. The first answer is that what the General Secretary of the United Nations said yesterday in the Security Council, which is that history did not start on the 7th of October. He said what happened did not happen in a vacuum. He condemned the attacks on Israelis, of course, but he said that this did not happen in a vacuum. It was a result of the fact that we have been under Israeli military occupation for 56 years. It's a result of the fact that 70% of the population of Gaza, like most Palestinians, have been evicted from their land by Israel back in 1948 in an act of ethnic cleansing, where 520 Palestinian communities were erased to the ground, and where 52 huge massacres took place. He reminded the world that there is a context of what's happening, and he reminded the world of the suffering of the Palestinian people. And what did he get?
Mr. Barghouti,
witch hunting by Israel.
Hang on.
No, let me finish. I want to finish.
I want to tell you the rest
of the answer.
It's an important point, though.
Mr. Guterres now got witch hunting by Israel. He is witch hunted now by Israel.
Yes, but I understand why Israel's been so angered by what he said. Because what he was trying to do was offer some kind of justification to something which is completely unjustified. You cannot in any context say that this terror attack, series of terror attacks,
he didn't say that.
On October the 7th was anything other than pure evil terrorism. And the moment you try and equivocate, the moment you try and bring in historical stuff to try and explain why this may have happened. There is no justification, surely, for what happened.
I hope that you will make your questions a bit shorter, because you have to give me some time to respond. First, no, I don't think he did anything wrong. And now they're witch hunting him. They say he should resign. You know what? You as a journalist would agree with me that any person who is not part of this situation should try to be balanced, right? Should not take one side and not the other.
Yes.
And but what the Israeli Foreign Minister Cohen said yesterday, that from now on, nobody should be allowed to be balanced. It's either you are with us or you are our enemy. They're witch hunting not only Guterres. You know, even the Israeli woman who was a prisoner in Gaza, who was released, they accused her of being a liar. Just because this old lady, who's 85 years old, dared to say that she was treated properly, that they took care of her, that they didn't beat her, didn't torture her. And then Israelis themselves called her a liar. This is unacceptable. And by all means, what is happening are collective punishment against Palestinian people, acts of ethnic cleansing, and genocide. By which law the world accepts that Palestinians are deprived of fuel in Gaza, when children are dying in incubators because they cannot get electricity? By which law in this world 120 Palestinians who are in emergency, in urgent need for kidney dialysis, will die because they cannot get kidney dialysis, including 20 children? But I didn't finish the response to your question about Hamas. My answer to you is, we should have free democratic elections. And we should have the chance to elect our leadership freely and democratically. Had we have elections in 2021, we would not be in this situation, because all the polls showed that neither Hamas nor Fatah will get absolute majority. We would have had a pluralistic democratic system. Who was against our elections? Israel. Who was against our elections? The United States of America, the great democratic country, which is the president of which, unfortunately, is hurting his own credibility now by repeating Netanyahu's lies one time after the other.
Okay.
Why don't they allow us to have democratic free elections?
It's a good question.
That is the response to the question.
Mr. Barghouti, I think the concept of free election would be total anathema to Hamas. But I appreciate you have that opinion, and I appreciate you coming on the program again. Thank you very much.